What's up, everybody? The happy couple is here. Welcome to Play in the Field. I'm your host, Ryan Field, the sports anchor here at WABC in New York City. As always, joined now by our favorites, Jen Matarese, our Bachelor Insider, and our Bachelor expert, Gina Sirico, out there in Los Angeles, where we are also joined by the happy couple, Juliana and Grant. It's officially official. The coming out party is underway, and we are so happy to have them right here on this very podcast. First off, congratulations to you both. I know keeping it a secret has been so tough. What is it like now that the world knows? How much of a relief is that? And what have these last 24 hours been like for you guys?
It's been a whirlwind, honestly. It feels really surreal. We've come so far since the finale that we all rewatched last night, but so much time has passed and we've had to keep such a big secret from so many people that it feels unreal to be talking about it sitting next to him right now. So.
A weight off our shoulders,
yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, a weight off our shoulders.
And we saw that it was a tough decision. It was down to the wire at one point. Juliana, how did you feel watching that back and seeing, his struggle? And also, Litia had some words during that their breakup and said that you guys would have a lot to talk about. And did you?
I think that Litia and we went through this process being true to who we are, but that, it's a very unique situation and you just have to be honest with yourself, and I can give her respect and props for carrying herself, but I can also give myself respect and props for the way that I handled things. So I think that there wasn't questions that I needed to ask because we had so many conversations when it finished filming anyways that nothing was like news to me when we were watching it back.
What were some of the things that going into last night's finale, knowing that it was going to be a tough day, an emotional day, what were some things that you kind of said to each other to kind of just hype each other up before going into the taping and everything?
Yeah, I think that with Jules and her family and my family, we have a really good support system. So we just made it a constant that we're going to rely on the people that know us and that love us and kind of block out the outside noise, because there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say this and that. And there's going to be a lot of people with different motives, and we just relied on who we are inside and what we know. And I think that's the main thing that we told each other.
Yeah, just stay grounded and know yourself, and the people around you choose to love you, and that's all that really matters.
Well, it's always about keeping the main thing in the Bachelor universe.
No.
I think we can all agree on that. And I'm going to put this in sports terms for my buddy Grant here, the basketball star. It was late in the fourth quarter, tie game, coming down to the final seconds. The ball is in your hands, my friend, and this is you on the day of making that decision. What ultimately gave you that clarity in that moment that you knew that Juliana was the one? And we know this came literally right down, as Jen said, right down to the wire.
Yeah, maybe not a tie, but it was, it was very hard. It was a very hard decision just because I don't like disappointing people or letting people down. I think that's something that maybe, I could do better with. And, I struggled from night one, the rose ceremonies. It was definitely difficult for me. So coming down to that final moment and realizing the weight of what it meant, and the mixture of it being the happiest day of your life and also the day where you got to shatter someone else's world, I think that's kind of what caused me to be in a situation where I just needed some more time. But I knew what I wanted and I knew what I needed. Mm-hmm. And, regardless of how it's perceived, like I know that I led with my heart. So, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Well, one thing that we've seen in past Bachelor seasons is that in between the end of the season and when it actually airs, usually the couple gets to go on these happy couple getaways. Did you guys get to do that? And are there any, like a fun story from one of them that you could share with us?
Yeah, we went on a couple. They were really fun. It's nice to be able to be with each other, especially like watching all of this back and you're kind of keeping a big secret. Every time we got to get together, it was just the revamp of the butterflies and the excitement of what's to come after this. And I don't know that there was any particular moment, but in one of the houses we had a piano, and I know that that was really fun for the both of us to have that, just because we both play, and it was cute.
Aw.
The nice added thing that we had.
Yeah.
I love that. We've talked about this before. What are some of those things during those happy couple moments where, like, some of the fun little things that you learned about each other? What's something, Grant, that you learned about Juliana, and then Juliana, what's something that you learned about Grant that you were like, oh, I did not know that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go first since she's been going first a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that what I knew already, but what I'm still learning is that her bubbly personality, like it's just in her, so she lets it loose whenever. So it's like she'll be doing something and just hear like a laugh or a screech or anything. That's what makes her her. So this question though, she's been.
I was gonna switch it up.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say that he's a really good cook, and so that was, I know you talked about it, but to taste your food, I was like, wow, this is the cherry on top.
What's the dish?
Poured
What's
water
the
bottles,
dish?
so-
You and your water bottles. What's the
Right,
dish?
right.
Yeah,
Steak.
Steak.
Nice.
Make a nice steak.
Nice.
And listen, this was before. This before you. This was already. So this happened after you said yes. So like you said, this was an added bonus, Juliana, that he was a good cook.
Absolutely.
Getting
I love to eat, so
Getting a nice steak dinner. Listen, Juliana, I'm going to put you in the hot seat here because we've had a very animated discussion on this podcast about the order of the fantasy suite dates.
Oh boy.
yeah.
And you were number one. You were the first to go. Would that have been your preference, or would you have rather have gone last? Knowing obviously everything worked out in your favor, but were you happy that you went first, and why was that the case?
It's funny because even watching it back, like, I don't think that I was ever trying to look at it in a strategic way. I was really just trying to take my emotions as they came. And it was hard to say bye to him, knowing that he then had time to foster connections with two other women. But, I don't know that it would have made a difference if I was last, because then I still would have been sitting there for a week thinking about the connections he was fostering with them anyways. So I don't know that the order really matters. And I think that conversations that you have are so important that, like, we were going to have them no matter what, like, level I was, what number I was in the order.
But either way, you would have preferred to go first than last?
I don't think I really have a preference.
Oh, okay. I had said that I would want to go last. The girls said they wanted to go
said
first. So that's been the hot topic of conversation.
Would it make you feel a certain type of way if you went first or last?
I think there's something to be said about having the last impression, the last
That's
word.
true.
I guess that was kind of more my
But
thought
also the
process
first
behind
impression.
Yeah.
Our
Right.
argument was that it was first impression as well.
Like, I kind of want to
okay.
ruin his mind for the next two. Like,
Yeah. Okay, I could see
And
that.
well, how about the follow up to Grant then?
Yeah,
were
did
you
she?
happy that she was the first as opposed to the last?
Yeah, I think that regardless of the order, I know the relationship that we had, and like I knew that we had a really strong relationship. So, and I went in there kind of with my morals and what I wanted to do. So, regardless if she was first, second, or third, I think that our relationship was already really solid by that point.
Yeah.
I kind of danced around that moment. That's how.
Yes,
don't have
you
a
did.
preference.
The dancing shoes are on,
smart
buddy.
answers. Smart answers. So, you're looking toward the future now and moving to Boston, or I don't know. Are you ready in Boston, or are you moving there yet?
No, I'm not there.
Not there yet.
But
Okay.
I'm about a couple weeks away. right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Nice.
And so are you guys going to get a new place together, or are you moving in with Juliana? And what does life look like in the future for the two of you?
Yeah,
New
I think
place.
I think we get a new place. We get a nice fresh start.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the one thing I would say is just life looks normal, where obviously our relationship is always going to be in the public eye, but we're going to have a way to keep our life private and pick and choose our moments when we want to be seen or when we don't want to be seen, you know? So I think
And
that,
lots of travel,
and lots of travel and lots of getaways, you know?
lots of dinners,
Yeah.
lots of wine, lots of
Lots of
family,
laughter, too.
friends, laughter.
Right.
That sounds like a lovely way to
That
spend your
sounds lovely.
life.
That's what life is about, right?
Sign us up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I'm going to send you some sage for the new place. Sage out, let's hang out. It's going to be great. Talk to me about, Juliana, talk to me about what that first big Sunday family Italian dinner is going to be like for Grant. What have you warned him about? What have I mean, obviously he saw a little bit on your hometown date of like what we Italians are like on a Sunday, when you're making the sauce, which by the way, I loved that Grant's dad was like, oh, you make sauce on something?
Make sauce.
Yeah.
I love it. What's that first Sunday dinner going to be like as now like a happily engaged out in the open couple?
Well, like you said, he got a little taste of it at my hometown. That was maybe like 1/10 of my family and friends. So, I've warned him there's just a lot of us. And when you pick one, we all come. So just be ready to be surrounded by so much love and laughter and good food. Honestly, we are a good time. My family's a good time.
A great time.
Yeah.
Great.
They did seem like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a glimpse of that in hometowns for sure. And we have one final question we've just been told. So I guess the final question to Juliana is, has Grant earned enough street cred with his steak that he can now man the grill at the family function? Will he be able to wear the chef hat and be there?
I think so.
You think so? Nope.
I think so. Yeah, we got a tough competition.
I was gonna
and
say.
I will say my family does not hold back. So if you mess up, like
They're gonna let you
good
know.
luck to you, bud. But
No pressure at
really
all.
good. Yeah,
No pressure.
You're on your
No
own,
pressure.
bud.
Yeah,
You're on your
right.
own.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
It's a good thing she already said yes, buddy. She's along for the ride no
right.
matter what. Listen, before we let you go, one of the cute things about you guys during this season is you always said, hi, boyfriend, hi, girlfriend. Can we get a hi, fiance now? Can we say that?
Ooh.
Hi,
Hi,
fiance.
fiance.
There it is.
Yay.
I love it. The happy couple, Grant and Juliana. Thanks so much for being here, guys. And we wish you nothing but the best. And we hope to talk to you again real soon. And enjoy all the adventures that life has coming for you here.
Of course. Thank you
you.
guys. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
See you
Thank you.
soon.
Love
Take
it.
care.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks, guys. So nice of Grant and Juliana to join us. So thrilled for them. And I can't even imagine, they were up late celebrating last night.
Oh, yeah.
On West Coast time. They're in Los Angeles. Gina said she was out with them till sunrise, I think she said.
Party.
Gina was throwing
Yeah.
back champagne with them. So we know that they were feeling that a little bit. But listen, they had a lot to celebrate.
Yeah.
So
Finally out in the
Yeah,
open.
finally out in the open.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been having to keep this thing a secret since like late fall, early winter, basically.
Yeah.
So what a happy couple. But I guess let's just go back to when this all went down. Did we think it was going to be Juliana, or was your gut telling you that it was Litia when he said, I woke up not knowing still what I'm going to do, and you saw how stressed he was, and then nobody does the drama like The Bachelor, right?
It's true.
The limo
True.
pulls up, the Suburban pulls up, and you see the door open, and you're just waiting to see whose shoe is going to come out of there. And we had already seen the dress that Litia was wearing.
As soon as you see that
you
flash
see
of fabric.
Yes, that's exactly
Oh.
right. Nobody does drama like The Bachelor, and I
You
thought that,
you heard the audience audibly.
Yes.
gasp.
Gasp,
I'm like,
right.
oh.
So I was surprised in the sense that I thought Litia might have been a more, and this is no knock on Juliana, but maybe like a more mature fit because she's a little bit
Sure.
older.
They're the same age.
They're the same age, and I feel like, maybe, I don't know about better partner material, but I guess if I was doing like a pros and cons, if I was thinking for Litia, I thought that maybe that would be the reason why he picked her. But I do think ultimately the timeline thing kind of spooked him with the
Yeah.
kids. So all that to say, and sorry for the longest question ever,
okay.
all that to say, I feel like I was not fully surprised, maybe only partially surprised that Litia was not the choice.
I thought when we saw Latia's date, and especially the second part where he went to her room and they had that long talk about the timeline and everything else, although she says they ended with, I love yous and promises of engagement and whatever, his eyes were serious. he seemed concerned. I don't know. I feel like at that point he was kind of searching for a reason not to pick her.
Yes.
And to rationalize that in his head, because on paper, I think, yeah, she's makes sense for him. But I mean, he has so much fun with Juliana, and like, what do you want in life but a partner to have fun with, right?
And Gina, that's what he said. I mean, he has more fun with her. And were you there for the taping last night?
No, I was not. I was sitting in my office watching and crying through parts of it. Yeah,
I know, especially the conversations with the dad. Although I keep waiting for Gina to pop up in those little boxes in the audience. I keep waiting for her face to just be there.
We need a Gina cam.
Holding a playing the field sign. I mean, it would just be perfect
kind
placement.
of like when they have Hakeem, like, whenever he's like in the
exactly.
No, it'll be a Gina. No,
you'd have to do the Hakeem bug eyes too. You'd have to do that when you're in the.
We need T-shirts.
We do need T-shirts,
right? And then Gina can wear them.
We're gonna talk to David about that. We're trying to get David a microphone, and he's got to give us some T-shirts.
You guys can't see me right now, but I'm wearing a jacket with a rose on it.
Oh, there we is that your Axl Rose, little Guns N' Roses?
No, rose for the Bachelor.
She goes, what?
Obviously,
it's for the Bachelor. Obviously, it's for the Bachelor. But
no
listen,
Axl Rose.
let's get into the X's and O's here, to borrow another sports analogy. I thought Litia, it was so funny. I have to comment on this. We've talked about her baby voice, at least last episode, which all of a sudden, once you get that in your head, it's hard to get it out of your head. But I love how when he finally gave her the news, she went from baby voice to, come on now. You know it's not like that. Come on now. Like all of a sudden, her whole demeanor, like a light switch, just flipped. And she just, I mean, obviously her walls came up, and obviously there was a certain level of shock and disappointment and sadness. I think her exact quote was, "I'm mad, I'm sad." I wrote this down. Where is it? Somebody help me out.
I'm confused, I'm sad, and I'm mad.
There you go. There it is. I'm confused. I had it in bold too, and I still couldn't find it. I'm confused, I'm sad, and I'm mad. And
I didn't even have a note. Thank you very much.
That's why you're here, Gina, to keep me on track.
I know.
But listen, it's one of those things where you can't blame her as a woman for having those emotions.
No, I think everyone deals with that kind of shock differently. And I think you're going to either jump to immediate sadness or a bit of anger. And when there's cameras on you and you're in that circumstance and you're expecting an engagement and you're walking away without that, and the person that you love is breaking your heart, I think it's just a lot at once, and I cannot fault her for how she acted. And actually, I think it probably was beneficial, maybe even for both of them, to see the reactions that each of them had and for her to maybe get some closure.
Yeah, I agree. Gina, before we get into Bachelor in Paradise, which we're all excited to talk about, you, of course, my friend, get the final word on everything you saw from this last episode.
I feel like we've talked about it on this podcast a lot. Grant was kind of like struggling between like what his head was saying and his heart was saying. And I think ultimately, like we've all said, on paper, Litia seemed like the perfect fit. And he has even said, she's the picture of everything I came in here looking for. But sometimes you don't know what you're looking for until you find it. And I think that that's what he found in Juliana. He realized that, yes, he wants all those things. He wants a family. He wants happiness and all that. But there's a little bit of light that she brings out in him. And I think that's the spark that's going to kind of help this relationship move forward.
Well said. Yeah, I agree. And I think they're super cute together. And you could already see them interacting like a couple that's been dating for, frankly, longer than 4 months, whatever it's been. It seems like they've been dating even for 4 years. So it's always fun because you go into these shows with expectations. And, if we asked them that question, I'm sure they would tell us that this experience exceeded their expectations in terms of the people that they ultimately ended up with in the end. So very cool. We love a good happy ending, and that's exactly what we got. And we also got a happy forthcoming, what is going to be transpiring here for the first time ever. Well, I mean, obviously we're excited that Bachelor in Paradise is back, but we have the Goldens partaking as well. We had Gary there last night and Leslie. Leslie said she is going to come on the podcast, by the way, so we'll get her take on all that. But I mean, this is going to be, we joked about having, especially you had talked about having the Goldens.
I love this
at the beach, and they're going to be there.
I love this so much, and I can't wait to see how it all plays out and who else they add to the cast, because I think we're going to see a slow trickle of like names coming out, over the next several months. But I don't know. Will the Goldens stay with the Goldens? Will the young ones stay with the young
no,
ones?
they're
Will
going to
there
be
some
mingling. No, we have to have
we'll
some
see
mingling.
how this goes.
We'll have to have some mingling. And Gina, we better not see any of the old guys hooking up with the younger girls. That can't happen.
I don't think that's going to happen.
It
I don't
can
think that's going to happen. What I do think we're
see.
going to see, what I'm hoping that we're going to see, is that as like relationships progress on both sides, that like Leslie will look to Zoe and like they can have a conversation and like they can get, you know, advice and stuff from the other, you know, from the other side of it, because I do think that each side will have something interesting to offer as far as like experiences on the beach and, you know, in their relationships and all that. Like, I want a relationship advice from the Goldens for sure. I think it'd be fun.
I'd be interested to see some past contestants from like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago come back.
Yeah.
And they're older now. They'd be dating
Somewhere
age
in the
for the
middle.
Goldens, you
Yeah,
know, in the
that's
middle,
true.
you know. So I think there's a lot of possibilities here.
The only one we know for sure that's going is Zoe, because she accepted her invitation.
Is Jonathan going for sure? Do we know?
Jonathan's going, Hakeem is going,
Okay.
and Zoe. Those are the three right now
That we know for sure.
We
yeah.
know some have expressed interest in going. Like Alex has said she would go.
Pretty much
Serafina
everybody
said she would go. Yeah, Allie Joe said she would go. Those are the ones that I spoke with at Tell All, and they all said they were game.
Not pictured.
we'll
David
see.
is here also raising his hand that he wants to be there. You sly dog, you. It's always the
My
ones you
colleague
least
here
suspect.
at KBC is like, you should go. And I'm like, oh, no, we won't be doing that. But thank you for playing. So
David's going to bring us the inside scoop from the beach. I can't wait.
There you go.
Hey, a couple weeks at the beach sounds like a great
We're
time.
going to get all the spoilers.
Look.
They're going to start filming, from what we understand, in May, first week of May, from what I'm hearing. So Bachelor in Paradise will be here soon. And I have to
Ryan
say,
has scoop.
I have scoop. Listen, every now and then I come up with something.
Yep.
I'm more
Can
than
we
just
get
I'm
that
more than just a pretty face.
Well,
we're gonna
Can we
get
get
that
that
confirmed. We're gonna get that confirmed, and we will have Leslie on, and maybe somebody else who's going to be on Bachelor in Paradise. I'm working on that as well. So all
look
good
at you,
things to
fancy.
come here on our favorite podcast. But again, congratulations to Grant and Juliana, a great season of The Bachelor, and we're hoping that, and I think it will. I think they're going to be in it to win it for the long haul. And I think it's going to be, it was a great ending to a great season, and we were so thankful that they joined us here on the podcast. And coming up, now that the season is over, we've got plenty of stuff to keep us occupied between now and then.
Lots of interviews coming your way.
Yeah, so keep it here until Bachelor in Paradise comes out later this summer. So a lot to get excited about. And if you like our podcast, what do they need to do, Jen?
Like and follow.
Like and follow us, please. We are Playing the Field. For Jen and Gina, I'm Ryan. We will see you next time.